I come from a New Hampshire family. I was born and raised in Concord in a modest home. I got a scholarship to Harvard, and after college and law school, I came back to New Hampshire and settled here in Manchester in 1978. For the past 29 years, I've worked at the McLean Graff law firm downtown. Got married in 1979, had 2 children, and raised our children, sent them through schools here, both graduates from Central High School. I like to get involved, and in our community, I've been involved in a number of nonprofit and community organizations. It's been a lot of fun working with the Palace Theater over the years because we made such great progress. I've served as a director for a number of years and have chaired the board of directors. And over that time, we've renovated the theater. We've added to lobby space and rehearsal space. And now we have more space upstairs in the Athens building for classes. And we bring in many children to take acting classes and learn about the theater. And overall, financially, the theater's doing much better than it ever has.
Tom Donovan and I met when I started at the Palace. He actually hired me at the Palace Theater 8 years ago, and from that moment, I knew he was a man to be respected, and frankly, he was one of the reasons I took the job, because I knew working for a man of his integrity and knowledge, smarts, would make a great fit.
I was a longtime board member of Child and Family Services, and also I served as the chairman of the board of directors. That's been around for 150 years in Manchester, and we work on a lot of worthwhile projects, including adoption, helping to deal with runaway youth, family counseling, and a number of other issues that confront families at this day. It's a good organization.
He's one of the reasons the Palace is successful. He's a deep concern in caring for the community, and besides the Palace, there's many, many hours volunteer work at the Palace Theater in a leadership position. He's helped Child and Family Youth Services in a tremendous way, has been very valuable for them.
I've been a trustee of the Bean Foundation for more than 15 years. We make grants to Manchester nonprofits, everything from the Courier Museum to Families in Transition to the Soup Kitchen. We've helped to get a number of nonprofits started over the years, including NeighborWorks and CASA, and I'm very proud of the work we've done over the years to help Manchester through the Bean Foundation.
Tom has really devoted his adult life to Manchester. He grew up in Concord, but we came here when he first got out of law school. He went to work at the McLean office, and at a certain point he realized that there were other things that he wanted to do. He loved being a lawyer, but he wanted to be more active in the community. He had several family members who were active in their communities in New Hampshire, and that's what he wanted to do. So it is amazing to me how much he knows about Manchester. It seems as if he's had had experiences in all sectors of the city. And over the years, we've raised our family here, and we work here, and we have dear friends here, and we just have come to feel very rooted here. It's a great place to live and raise a family and work.
I served on the Conservation Commission in the 1990s. That group is responsible under the city to protect wetlands. We also had some projects that we began at that time that resulted in protection of our urban ponds. Those are the ponds that include Crystal Lake and Nuts Pond, Doors Pond, and many others, to make them cleaner, to protect the Merrimack River more, and to make them more of a beneficial area for recreation for our families.
There are certain people in our community that are leaders, and there are certain people who are workers. Tom is a leader, and he is able to change any organization he works with, which is really a talent that is very unique and incredibly valuable to nonprofits in Manchester.
I served for 4 years on the school board. During that time, I chaired the finance committee. One of our major projects at that time was the school renovation and addition project. Many of our schools had gone for a generation without renovation work, and there was a lot of neglect in those buildings. And so we put together a proposal that was pretty complicated, but it came together really well. For the first time, we got contributions from the surrounding towns for the renovations, and we also were able to put together a financing plan that did not result in increase to our taxpayers.
As a former member of the school board, Tom is very aware of the workings of the school board. He's clearly shown that he's an advocate for education and understands it needs to be done in a fiscally responsible way. He's result-oriented, he is a hard worker, he's a consensus builder, all qualities that are absolutely necessary on our school board today.
Well, you know, Tom and I have a history of working together on the schools. We inherited a very significant, over $3 million deficit in the Manchester School District. And Tom began as chairman of the finance committee during the time where we were dealing with pressure from the court system for us to resolve that issue in the best interest of the students and taxpayers of the city. And Tom led a very aggressive and very thorough approach because of his business experience in leading us out of that deficit. And during his time in the school board, that was the end of deficits and the end of spending, not spending wisely with a prudent plan. And he brought organization to a system of financial accounting that was not in the best interest of the taxpayers of the city. So he's proven that he's a good leader and a good manager and a good business person, and that's what we need at City Hall.
When I got elected in the fall of 2001, I was told that I'd become the chairman of the finance committee. I was also told that there was a $3 million deficit. So I made it a priority during my term on the school board to get that deficit paid off. It wasn't easy, but we stuck to it and we got it done. And then after that, we returned surpluses to the taxpayers. That's the type of sound fiscal management I would bring to the mayor's office.
Tom's approach to crime will be, again, working with the police department and the police office to ensure that they have the proper equipment that they need to do the job. He also supports the building of a police station on the west side of Manchester. The west side for too many years has been neglected in terms of its presence of police officers, and we've done things with substations, but I think now is the time to actually construct a facility on the west side of Manchester will give the police the coverage they need to support this very important part of our city.
Well, as a former mayor of Manchester, I'm very interested in the development of the city of Manchester. I've known Tom Donovan as a friend and a co-worker for many years, having served as executive director of the McLean Law Firm when he was effectively the president of the law firm and the manager. I know about his organizational skills. I know that he will do a good job of pulling together all of the various elements of the city. And I know that he's concerned about economic development and being able to build consensus around what that development should look like and what all the various branches of the city should be doing to contribute to that.
The city of Manchester needs a chief executive who's fully engaged with the municipality, the problems facing our municipality, the problem of crime on our streets, the education situation, and the number of other problems that come up in our city. A man who's engaged, who's fully engaged in it. And I think Tom has had a great record of public service as a member of the school board, chair of the finance committee, did a wonderful job there, and I think he'd do a terrific job as mayor of the city of Manchester.
I have nothing but the utmost respect for my husband. I have known him since 1976, and he's always been a man who's been faithful to his responsibilities. He's a man of vision and intelligence and the highest integrity. Manchester would be very lucky to have him as a mayor.